first come is first serve. Don't rent a house that the landlord is actually living into. They'll show you a different house and then take you to a different house. To get to your bus stop, then enter boat to your house. Literally.
Still up in the streets on sign. Still trying to get a million, some peace of mind. Free my dog. Free all of my niggas I ain't seen in time. Still up in the streets on sign. Still trying to get a million, some peace of mind.
Hey rumis, welcome back to my channel or welcome back to another video. My name is damirumi. If this is your first time on this channel, please do not make it last time by clicking the subscribe button in the description box below, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. So recently I've been posting house hunting videos on my channel and I've been getting a lot of questions in my mail or my DM from different people telling me they want to relocate to Lagos, like they need help getting a particular apartment, or what should they know before they get an apartment, where I'll advise them to rent an apartment depending on their prices that they have, wanting good road and stuff like that. There are also people that want to relocate down to Lagos that have asked me for tips that I could give them on hunting for apartments, or if I could go house hunting with them. So instead of me just talking and replying to each person one by one, I decided to do a video on tips that I feel like you should know before going for a house hunt in Lagos. I don't know about anywhere these tips might also apply in different areas. This video is particularly focused on Lagos and for people that are going house hunting in Lagos, Nigeria, both on the mainland and on the island. Things that I feel like you should know before going for any house hunt or before going for any house viewing and stuff like that. So yeah, let's get into the video. There are different ways that people house hunt in Lagos. Some people actually go out themselves to check for these apartments like I've been doing. Some people actually check online through websites that are dedicated for house hunting and purchasing of buildings like propertypro.ng. Some people actually speak to agents on Instagram. There are different ways that people actually search for houses in Lagos. The one I prefer the most is definitely to go out there and search for your apartment by yourself, because it is always easier with less risk if you would just go out there and search for your apartment yourself. But if you do not have the time, you could definitely check on Property Pro or sites that are similar to that. But using those particular sites, I'll tell you to be very watchful of two things. There are lots of scammers online. They post houses of people and they put fake prices and stuff like that. They refuse to tell you the particular area where you're going to, and the agent probably tell you to meet him up so and so, and is going to take you to the place. So these people tend to put nice and attractive houses online, and then they also, when you actually do text them, they tell you, oh, they have better properties, and then they start to send you different pictures. Are always fake. There was a particular time that I was house hunting before I got this place that somebody sent me a picture of a house that I really liked, and by the time I asked where exactly is this place, because I don't want to go for viewing if it's not in the particular area that I want, he was reluctant to tell me the area that the house was in, because first of all, it was fake, and secondly, he said I had to send the viewing fee to him first before he would tell me the area. And their excuse is always that people always contact them and tell them they want to come check houses and just make them waste their time. Literally, they go out to that place and then the person doesn't come through, which actually does happen. But at the same time, there are scammers everywhere using these excuses that real agents go through as their own excuse, and they'll literally just scam you for your money. That's why I'm an advocate for go to the place by yourself. A lot of people do not have time due to work or certain stuff here in Lagos, so they always depend on agents and online applications. However, if you do want to use them, you need to be watchful of scammers, because there are scammers everywhere. The agent that you speak to online might just send you houses and pictures of houses that they think that suits your particular wish, your desire, that is in a particular area that you want. They are not the agent of that house. They don't know the landlord. They have no business posting their property, but they do go ahead and post it to try to scam you of your viewing fee. So in case you do not know, most agents in Lagos actually do ask for viewing fee. Like if you want to go see a property, they ask you from within the range of 5,000 to 10,000. I'm not particularly sure, depending on the person you're working with, but they do ask for viewing fee because people tend to text them and don't show up, and they always end up going to the property location and the person doesn't show up. So a lot of them ask for viewing fee as their transport fare and also for their time that they're using to take you around. So yeah, a lot of them are just trying to scam you of that viewing fee. So what you need to be watchful of is agents that you start to ask, oh, where is this place, what particular area is this, and they can't answer those questions. They're telling you, oh, you need to pay the viewing fee first. You need to be watchful of those type of agents, because trust me, they're just trying to make that money, that quick money, really fast. By the time you send them viewing fee for, and they'll probably just block you or you never hear from them again. So you need to be watchful of any agent that is asking you for viewing fee before actually taking you to the property that you are supposed to see. So once they start to ask you for viewing fee, it's a red flag. And trust me, when you're house hunting, never ignore a red flag. Once you start feeling like something is off, something is probably off. So yeah, you need to be very careful of that. If you're using an agent that you met personally or an agent that you were introduced to that is not from an online website, you also need to be careful of scammers. They also do the same thing. Most of them just contact this person to contact this person to ask if they have this type of property in this area that their client is looking for, and then when they get it, they take you there, and sometimes they try to convince you to make the payment to them, and then they abscond with your money. Another thing that you need to be watchful of with agents is that you need to make sure that the agent you're speaking to is the agent of the property you're trying to get, like the agent of the property you're trying to acquire. Most of these agents, they do not have that property that you're looking for. So for instance, I need a house. I text A and I'm like, Mr. A, I need this house in this area. Mr. A will tell me he's going to get back to me. He doesn't have that property. So now Mr. A is going to contact Mr. B, C, D, and all of his contacts and tell them, oh, I need a 2-bedroom in Ikate. I need a 2-bedroom in Lekki Phase 1. Help me look for, do you have any, stuff like that. And when that one tells them, yes, he does have, then Mr. A will then tell you, yes, he does have, and then take you to the other person's property, which is how most of them do work, and it's not a bad thing. But also you need to be very careful, because most of the time they start to have conflicts when the matter then involves money. If possible, make sure that the agent you're speaking to on the property you want is the direct agent, the main agent for that property that you want, not an external agent. So yeah, you need to be watchful of agents that ask you for viewing fee before you see the property, and also the agent that you speak to online. Personally, if I would actually go through an agent, I would definitely request to see the landlord. Most of the time the landlord is not always available, but if the landlord is available, I would advise that you please request to see the landlord, because it's very important. Most of the time these people just collect your money and act like they are going to give you the house and stuff like that. They act in place of the landlord and then run away with your money. Or maybe you get the place and then you start to have issues with this and that, plumbing, electrical work, and then the agent then becomes unreachable and you've paid in full, but then you don't have the landlord's contact, so you cannot contact the landlord to make your complaint directly. You have to bank on this agent, and the agent has already collected his agency fee and he has spent it, so he literally has no business trying to please you anymore. And yeah, that's always a barrier. So try to know your landlord, try to meet your landlord before actually making any payments for any property in this Lagos. Don't rent a house that the landlord is actually living in too. You know, these houses that this person has built, it is living in it and then is renting out some part of it to other people. I would tell you that that should be your last option. Like, don't opt for that kind of a house. That should actually just be your last option. Most of the time you might be lucky and you meet a very good person, a very nice landlord and stuff like that. Otherwise, you get to meet a troublesome landlord, somebody that dictates to you what time to get back home, somebody that dictates to you how loud your music should be or the type of people you should bring into your own house that you've already paid for. A lot of people go through that because they've made the biggest mistake of their life, which is renting a house that the landlord also lives in. They tell you, my mom is a landlord in this Lagos state. She also has some apartment that she rented out in the same house that we're living in, that she is living in, and she set some rules like turn off your gen by 12 p.m. I think that's literally just the rules. So I would say she's one of the good ones that you'll be lucky to have, because if you even have like an excuse or something like that, they might let you put on your gem for longer, but they tell you to turn your gem by 12 because the noise might be too much so everybody can sleep. So yeah, you might have a landlord that will tell you from 12, they'll tell the security, don't open the gate for anybody from 12 p.m. which from 10 p.m. or from 11 p.m., which is ridiculous. They will also tell you, oh, they don't want too many people, they don't want you having female guests, male guests. They become very dictative, and just be careful, if you can avoid it, to not rent the house that the landlord also lives in. I think my next tip is going to be don't overlook any red flag. Like I said earlier, if your gut is telling you don't take this property, then don't take it. Just don't bother. Just keep going. Do not take it. No matter how nice the property is. A lot of people tend to overlook red flags because the property is probably in the exact spots that they want. It's probably their dream apartments, literally. The right apartments, 24-hour service charge, lights, good road, no bad drainage. All of those things are what you should consider when you're looking for a house in Lagos. Imagine you then find a house that has all of those qualities, but then some things just don't add up. Please just keep going. You'll probably find something else. You'll find something better, hopefully. You might not find something better, but just keep going.
To avoid stories that touch.
Have your money before you go house hunting. have your money before you go out something, because that one is painful. That one is extreme. It can be extremely painful. A lot of people tend to, they know that they want to probably change a property, or like you want to move out of your parents' house and you know you want to rent a house, and then you start to go out something when you've not completed the money, your budget. You've not completed your budget, then you start to go out hunting. It's a wicked thing to do to yourself, because you're going to see something that you like, you're going to see a property that you love, and they'll tell you somebody else is looking at it. Or maybe as you're going to look at it, you're actually seeing someone else that is coming to look at it at the same time. And trust me, first come is first serve when it comes to these houses. Most of the time the landlord requires, oh, where do you work, what do you do, are you single, are you married? They start to ask you these questions that are actually provocative, and then you might not get the property. But otherwise, first come is first serve. On the mainland mostly, first come is always first serve. On the island here, landlords are more skeptical these days because of these fraudsters, because of this our brothers and our fraudsters there, because of people actually that have the money to pay for the first rent and then they cannot continue, or like because they are avoiding collecting a troublesome tenant. That's why they always require these things like, oh, where do you work? They need someone to vouch for you and all this type of stuff. So yeah, these days landlords don't want to rent house to someone that's single. They don't want to rent house to like young girls. They feel like it may be a prostitute, or a group of guys, they feel like they're doing Yahoo or stuff like that. If you can luckily omit that and get a place, make sure you have it. Imagine going through all of these things, you can't get an apartment. You see an apartment you like, they tell you, oh, they want someone that is married. You see another apartment that you like and you have one issue with it or the other, and then you now finally find somewhere that is perfect, but you lose the place because somebody else paid before you. That's just it. And also, let me just dive back to this. When working with agents, they always play that trick on you. They tell you, oh, somebody else is looking at it, quickly pay your money, quickly pay your money. They try to put you into rush. As long as you've seen the red flag, please don't rush yourself. Oh, don't rush yourself, because they try to not make you think, take away your option, try to push you like it's urgent. Quickly pay this money, quickly do this, quickly do that. Somebody else is looking at it, and then you fall for it, and then you can't just take it back. So yeah, if you find somewhere that you do like, make sure you have your money to pay for it. Otherwise, you lose the place. And if you have the money to pay for it, also watch out for red flags, and don't let agents push you into making payments if you're still trying to like observe the property to be sure it's safe to make payments to collect that property. Another thing with agents actually is that they'll show you a different house and then take you to a different house. And it's so annoying. Like, you tell them, I want this property, I want this 2-bedroom apartment in so area, blah blah blah. They'll tell you they have, and then they'll tell you, make I quickly take you, let me quickly take you to this other property that I also have. And then they start to show you scrap, they start to show you rubbish, wasting your time, and they will literally just waste your time. They take you to a different property after they've told you they have this property you want, trying to persuade you into taking something else, or trying to see if they can persuade you into taking something else. And they don't have what you're looking for. They do not have it. They will not tell you, oh, I don't have, let me show you the one I have. They'll tell you I have, then they will show you a different house, then take you to a different house, and then they will now tell you, the most common lie with them is, somebody just paid for that one, let me show you a new one. My last and final tip is, before making any payments, if you're able to find what you're looking for, perfect house, feels right, you've seen the landlord, you've spoken to the landlord, everything just feels right, you've met the lawyer, whatever it is, the last thing I'm going to tell you that is important for you to do, extremely important, is to make inquiries. So you try to speak to other people that live in that area, probably fellow tenants like you that stays in that area. If it's like a duplex or a terrace and all of those things, there are definitely going to be people that are around in that same estate too, that you can ask questions. And if it's not in an estate, if it's like in a bungalow or a house just outside, like a normal house outside that you just rent, you should also ask people like neighbors or people that stay in that area. Make inquiry and ask questions. 3 important questions are very important questions for you to ask. The security in the area. How good is the security in that area? Like, do they steal? Trust me, people will tell you the truth. They'll tell you because they are lamenting. They are probably open, or they are probably wishing someone had told them the same thing. So the first thing I'll tell you to do is ask how the security in that area is. If it's an estate, like a service estate or like a service apartment, yeah, probably it's a bit more secure. But if it's a normal house, I'll tell you the first thing you should do is ask about the security in that estate. Secondly, if it's on the island, I don't know about on the mainland, but on the island, I will tell you, please check the water in that area. Check the water in the apartment. If the water is not running, ask the neighbors, how frequently does water run here? Is the water clean? Especially ask, oh, is the water clean? Emphasis on clean, because island water can be dirty. A lot of people end up buying water on the island. A lot of people end up either buying a tank of water, bathing with sachet water. There are different things that our eyes is seeing. So ask, is the water clean? How good is the water? How long does water last for? You know, stuff like that. And then lastly, ask about the lights. Does lights come on frequently? How long does it take before they give you lights? Like, just ask people that live in that area. They'll always tell you the truth. Try to make your own findings sharp, because these agents, they'll lie to you. The light is 24 hours, the light is 18 hours, and then you ask and then you get something else. They'll literally tell you something else just to make you make that payment. So yeah, ask about the lights in the area, ask about how clean the water is, and most importantly, after you've gotten that, after you've asked about the security issue, you've asked about water and lights, please do your finding on the road. Do your finding of the road, so that you will not have to get to your bus stop then enter boats to your house. Literally, most of the roads on the island are bad. Most of the access roads are bad. Most of the drainage, poor drainage system, all of these things, they just clash on each other. And trust me when I tell you, ask about the road, because if possible, go during rainy season. I'll tell you to go out hunting. I went out hunting during rainy season. Go out hunting during rainy season, because that's when you know the truth. Agents will tell you the road here is very good. If your road is good, the road that leads to your road might be bad. Like, literally. And trust me, if you have to request Uber will be telling you, oh, they know they come that side. I don't want to enter the streets. I don't want you. Then come down and use a leg to go through your River Niger. On the way to your house, you use your leg to pass through your own River Niger. These people, they don't tell you, oh, the road is bad or something. You request for an area that has good road, good lights and stuff like that, and then they tell you they have this house or they have this property, and then you get there, the road is not good. So yeah, try to ask your neighbors, ask people around, ask people that sell stuff around, those vendors on the side of the road, whatever. Just walk up to them. I beg, how good is this road? Does this road flood? You know, is it motorable when it's raining? All of those questions are very valid, very, very, very valid. There are things that you should know before you even say you want to start to pay for a house. Before you start going for house hunting in Lagos, you should know all these things, so you not fall into the wrong hands. And yeah, those are my little tips that I know that I've been sharing with a couple of you that do text me personally to ask me 1 or 2 questions. Those are the tips that I applied when I was house hunting, and those are the tips I'm still going to apply when I actually have to move out of here in the future. Before paying for any property, I would make sure I do not skip any of these tips. So like here, that's literally my own one cent on how to not waste your money, how to not lament on the property that you do get, and how to live comfortably in Lagos and not get scammed. I hope you do enjoy watching the video. Please remember to give the video a thumbs up, like, and leave a comment below. You can just ask me any question you do have to ask that I did not touch on in this video. And also more house hunting videos are going to be coming up, like Lekki Phase 1 and Oniru, Pinnacle Axis and stuff like that. Those videos are going to be coming up, so do stay tuned by subscribing to my channel. Hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video or vlog. Bye.